You know, one thing we haven't talked about, how do you think Vince coming back is going to affect free agents or people whose contracts are up?
Well, he doesn't like that. You know, here he.
How should
Vince
AEW
wants-
how should AEW take this sale to Endeavor or merger with UFC under the Endeavor? There's so many different ways to phrase it, but you know what I mean.
Good Lord. The new company will have a chance for guys to make an incredible amount of money in all varieties of things. Hopefully it might get more talented real athletes, real combat sport athletes to be interested in the wrestling business again like they once were. But also with the Hollywood connection and the agenting and the whole 9 yards, anybody under that umbrella that has talent that they want to take care of and exploit can make a fucking fortune. However, I think the bar is going to be set higher in terms of, you know, the AEW guys. They may have thought, well, you know, it's more stable up there. If I go there with Triple H in charge, maybe I won't be, you know, given stupid gimmicks or whatever. With Vince back and the fact that, you know, a lot of the AEW guys think they're ready for prime time and they're not. I don't know if this is great for them for any escape route from AEW. And obviously this whole thing now is going to dwarf whatever Tony Khan's fucking doing. And can you imagine that the WWE as an entity will ever have trouble getting on television ever again?
More than likely not. But I mean, how much they're going to get for every deal is a question going forward.
Well,
what television is a question.
How much is the question? But it's not like, remember 10 years ago, a lot of people in the company were saying one of the things Vince liked about the network was if anything ever happens and we get kicked off USA or whatever the case, you know, we've got our own distribution. They ain't going to get kicked off television now. They're going to be on some major cable network, some major platform until the end of time as a result of this. Whereas Tony Khan, a few more hierarchy changes in Warner Brothers Discovery or whatever, and they might decide to do the same thing they did 20 years ago and just cancel the whole fucking thing.
You know, that's one of the things we talked about. I don't even remember which day. We've recorded so much over the last few days. But the idea that here's WWE versus AEW. And WWE before all this, and before all the scandal and shit, or even with that, has this infrastructure. They have a team, they have a system, they have management. Not everyone is great there, but there's a hierarchy. Everything makes sense. In AEW, it's still just Tony and his wacky team. And now look at WWE. Now they have Endeavor. That's why I said we need a capable, competent number two, not just a fan taking their version of indie wrestling national. Back to Cody Rhodes, or more specifically Cody Rhodes' fans, a lot of people travel from all over the world, including his family, to be there to see this big moment that everyone thought would happen that, unless they prove us wrong, should have happened, and it didn't, and then they continued the beating the next night. Maybe you go home and you feel beat down yourself, and you want to sue the bookers.
Well, you know, that's an interesting concept. Do you sue for bait and switch? Do you sue for mental anguish and distress? Do you sue for the general feeling that you've been beaten with a sack of wet hammers, being deflated over thinking you had something in your hands and then suddenly it was snatched away from you? Well, I know who you can call.
Call Stephen P. News. If you need to sue. An outlaw mud show or two. Still to the rest.
Yes, folks, and if you've had something snatched away from you, whether it be your dignity, your health, your freedom, even your life, Call Stephen P. New at newlawoffice.com, 888-692-8084. I guess if you've had your life snatched away from you, somebody else is going to have to make that call for you. In that case, whoever is the nearest of kin or has power of attorney. But ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about the many things that Stephen P. New is involved in across the country and helping the little guy, the downtrodden, the peon among you out there. And if you feel like you've been getting peed on, then Stephen P. New is the man to do some peeing back, because he will leave a trail of golden tears all across the faces of the people who have wrongfully terminated you, wrongfully confined you, caused damage to your property or to your body, and he will do it with a smile on his face and get you paid. He's been protecting the inmates there at the dangerously overcrowded and understaffed jails in West Virginia. The opioid-addicted baby case is entering now an even bigger stage where more people are going to get the benefits of these evil corporations that are going to be brought to heel and taken to task by newlawoffice.com. And of course, then there's the energy company in Louisiana and all the other various cases, and the slander and defamation of a fine Marshall University executive over there by the New York Times. All these things and more are being handled, and you can be handled too by Stephen P. New. And when you get handled by Stephen P. New, boy, you'll know that you've had a hand in justice.
What?
Yes,
Explain
that's right.
that one.
You'll stick your hand right in justice. A whole pool of it.
The spot is an injustice.
Well, it's not in Justice, West Virginia.
No, it's not. Stephen P. New, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the governor's name over there in West Virginia.
Stephen P. New?
No. Well, it's going to be Governor Justice. You would think he would have some justice in his state without Stephen P. New having to bring everybody in and straighten them out. I think the governor of West Virginia, before our lifetimes are over with, is going to be Stephen P. New.
All right. Well, we'll see how things work out between now and the future when it comes to that.